Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 43 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. You can see I'm currently producing some energy using some geothermal cells because I'm charging up a mass fabricator. I remember I was pretty close to making a quantum helmet and I plan to make one in today's episode. There's a couple other things I'd like to do today, so we'll see what we get. And I'll be back once I'm ready to make that quantum helmet or have something else interesting to do. So, I'll be back soon. So while I'm waiting for this to run here, I'm going to go check on my system downstairs, and I figured I should probably answer a couple questions that are probably on a lot of people's mind right now. Number one, will I be upgrading to version 1.1 Minecraft? I'm going to try. I have no idea how my world is going to react to the fact that I want to upgrade to 1.1 Minecraft. I want to get Buildcraft 3.x, I want to get the new Equivalent Exchange, which is pretty close to being released according to Xeno. Industrial Craft 2 is either released by the time you're seeing this video or extremely close. And, you know, there's a lot of mods getting ready for 1.1, and I would like to update to them. But I'm just waiting on a few more mods, and I also want to get Forestry. The latest version of Forestry has a lot of neat changes. So, I'm going to try and make a 1.1 world, and pretty much use my config files from this world to make sure all my block IDs are the same, and kind of cross my fingers and see how well it goes. I have no idea how successful I'm going to be. So 1.1, I'm going to try, and if I can't, well, I'll figure out what I can do. Maybe I'll just figure something out. I don't know. What else is going on recently? Well, we've got logistics pipes that are getting upgraded pretty soon, so you guys are going to check out some of the cool stuff that Craft has planned for logistics pipes. And I might be doing away with Portal Gun when I do upgrade to 1.1. Portal Gun, I believe, is ready for 1.1, but there's a bit that needs to be done with it still. It's still a little bit buggy. I actually spoke to iChun, the creator of Portal Gun, a little bit recently, and he told me that he's planning to do a full rewrite of the mod. So I might be ditching Portal Gun for the time being until that rewrite comes out, and then see about re-adding it. And, you know, we'll see what else. A couple of people have posted saying, Direwolf, do you read the comments on your videos? Yes, I do. I do read the comments on my videos, believe it or not. Usually for a few days after posting the video, I'll spend some time reading the comments, and after that they start to peter down a little bit. But YouTube sends me a message showing me the most recent comment on a video, and I check that pretty frequently too. So I do kind of catch up and see what people are saying and what they're posting. I'm really happy to see that you guys are, so far it seems like, enjoying the series. And I do take into account a lot of the things some people say. So, and I like to give shout-outs to people who give me neat ideas, so if I do implement one of your ideas, I most likely tell you that I got it from you. So, that's also something that I do. So let's see, how are we making here with the chest? We've got a good amount of UU matter here, so I'm going to flip this guy off. We'll turn you off here. I'm going to get myself a little bit more lava in the system. And I think this is enough UU matter to get going. So let's get ready to start remote ordering some things. I'm going to need 10 of these mixed metal ingots, so get that guy kicked off right away. I'm also going to go ahead and request, let's say, 2 advanced circuits and 1 Lapitron crystal. Oh, I'm missing rubber. Oh my. Gonna have to work on my rubber production, I guess. Oh yeah, look at that, very low on rubber. So let's run outside to our rubber tree. Looks like it's daylight out, so that's always good. I'm gonna sneak out here and see what we got in the rubber tree situation. Why don't I flip my lever here to activate my resin extraction? That sounds pretty good. And I've considered the fact that resin extractor could probably use more energy than it's getting at the moment. So I might want to build a system here to make this guy run off of a biogas engine or something like that, so that it runs a little bit quicker. As a matter of fact, do I happen to have anything on me that can help me out here real quick? Maybe if I request something. Let's lay these guys down and see about making this resin extraction happen a little bit quicker. And this was not supposed to be this. You were supposed to be a basic logistics pipe. Frequency 0 can receive true. Let's see, do I have in here any golden pipes? Yeah, I got one of them. Request. And hey, power teleport pipe, that works too. So I'm actually going to just assist this little machine here right now by connecting this guy over frequency 3, which is currently powering my quarry, but that's just going to let the thing run a little bit faster, and you can see it definitely extracting resin a lot better than it was before. Like I said, I might want to give these guys a little bit more power than they have, because it's nice to come over here and be a little bit faster about extracting resin and getting what we want to get. So while the resin extractor is running, why don't we pick the resin up off the ground that it's collecting, and we'll also start chopping down these trees. So logger activated, and all the resin should start disappearing off the ground. And you can see it going through my teleport pipe system, and heading back to my base to get turned into rubber. Hooray! And once that's all done, it's going to start also, and I think we're pretty good on resin here at the moment. So I'll be back in my base in a few minutes once all this rubber trees have been knocked down and all that cool stuff has made its way back to my base. Hey, that's better. Rubber. Woot. Now, what was I requesting that I couldn't get rubber? I believe it was a Lapitron crystal. And while I'm waiting for that guy to filter through my system, I might as well go ahead and start compressing those mixed metal ingots. And I believe I should have some glass on me. I'm going to need that guy. And my Lapitron crystal should be arriving momentarily. I'll be back for it. Advanced alloys, perfect. Now, the recipe here, as you guys have seen me make before, is we pretty much need 8. Ah, so close. Well, I'll take the 7 that I can get, and why don't I go ask myself for one more UU matter downstairs. Or I happen to have a UU matter in my chest here. Perfect. So let's make one more of those little guys. Perfect. So I've got my 8 iridium ore. And in the middle of those, I believe I'm going to need some diamonds to make my iridium plates. So let's go with 2 diamonds, please. And some advanced alloys on the side gets me the iridium plates that I need. Okay, perfect. I'm also going to put some advanced alloys in here and make an item you haven't seen before. It's reinforced glass. I could use this in my reactor if I wanted to see through, and it's got a pretty strong resistance to explosions, but it's also a component in the quantum helmet. Some advanced circuits on the side of that guy, iridium, and Lapitron crystal. Woot! Quantum helmet. Downstairs we go. Let's charge this guy up. How's my energy reserves? Ah, a good amount. Let's just throw the quantum helmet right in there and let it charge up, and I'll be back once it's full. Alright, a fully charged quantum suit helmet. And I charged up my suit and boots. Pretty much charged everything up while I was at it. Woohoo! Now, real quick, you might have noticed my health bar went up. That's right, as did my hunger bar. Quantum suit helmet keeps you fed, which is cool. Also adds to your protection and your armor and all that good stuff. And, yeah, it keeps you from drowning, which is also cool. So no more drowning underwater for me. So if I want to go check in on my nuclear reactor for whatever reason, you can see my breath bar there going down a little bit. And the quantum suit helmet will automatically refill it after a few seconds. Huzzah! Now, one thing I did notice is I'm starting to get a little bit low on my MFSU. When this guy gets down to about almost at the point where it is now, it's about time to rerun this guy. So I should probably get ready to think about running my nuclear reactor again, but I'm going to hold off for now. Alright, looks like my rubber tree farm has harvested everything, picked up all the saplings. Good, we got about 11 saplings there. Let's flip this lever over here and make sure that we start replanting all the saplings that we got. So the plantation should take care of all that stuff, replacing the humus, getting rid of the sand, and it'll replant the saplings as well. Now, let's go find something to do with all this industrial craft power that I've recently acquired. You guys remember my volcano base, right? I know it's been a while since I've gone to work on it, but let's head out there and start doing a little bit more work on things. It looks like I've actually lost some of the tracks that I had out here. Better replace those. Yeah, it's definitely been a while since I went to visit that base. There are some more things I want to get going out there, so why don't I grab myself just a little bit more carts, minecart track. Let's see, there should be some in my railcraft chest, I would imagine. Yep, rail. Simple, basic, standard stuff. I might want to start upgrading to some of the high-speed rails that are available, and we'll see about that. There's a couple things I want to do with railcraft still. Don't worry, I'm nowhere near being done with that guy. Oh, much better. Let's try this little ride again, shall we? Don't know what happened to those things. Maybe a random creeper. I should probably have some kind of system around the side of this thing to make sure it can't be destroyed by creepers or whatever enemies walking on it. That would probably be a good idea. Back to my little lava volcano base. Whoosh! Now I do need a way to store these carts somewhere, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to get these carts stored. I'm going to have to build one of those cart storage systems, and I also need to build a way to get out of this place, because right now the way it works, I'm not really going to be able to get out too easily. So some things to do there. I'm also going to want to get a lava lake back down here. So why don't I get the items that I'm going to need to work in this lava area, and I'll be back shortly. And just as an FYI, I'm hooking up my old friend, the teleport pipe, with can receive equals true, as you can see there. And now I can start requesting items to build this base down here. And I'm also going to open up, where's my chest? I think I left it back at my base as a matter of fact. Oh well, I'm going to have to just hang on to junk I don't need for the time being. Maybe I'll run back to my base and get my ender chest. Hey, there we go. Just made it back to my base after running home to my main world. And picked up an ender chest, so I can throw junk in there that I don't need to have on me at the moment. Nice. Now, I do have in my bag here, oh, where is it? There we go, Vulcanite Amulet. Cool. A volcano base is not complete without lava. Durr. Need some lava, don't we? So let's get to building here. If I charge this guy up... Oh boy. I'm also going to check, do I have any redstone on me? I've got some glowstone dust, a little bit of redstone, some Mobius fuel. I think it needs redstone. So let's see, redstone, is that what I need, or can I use Mobius fuel as part of this? Oh, not enough. Not enough of something. I might need gunpowder, as a matter of fact. Wasn't gunpowder what I need for this thing now? Alright, so I'm just going to down-convert alchemical coal down to glowstone dust, right? So let's put like half a stack of this in here. I'm going to need a good amount of glowstone dust. And I need to craft this stuff like so. There we go, that's it. 3 glowstone dust, it looks like, equals... Oh boy, creeper. That's what I get for working in the dark, right? So, let's see. Let's start up that process again. Oh, did I lose my, I did. I lost my Philosopher's Stone. He destroyed it. Bad creeper. Let's try and avoid working in the dark too much. And try that again. Lucky thing I had an extra one of these in the bag, right? Alright. Philosopher's Stone to alchemical coal. To glowstone dust. To gunpowder. That works. And I think gunpowder is what I'm going to need for this Vulcanite Amulet, just to be able to place some lava around. Now let's flatten out the terrain here, because there's no need to have a deep lava lake. I just want to have, you know, a decent looking one. Now if I charge this guy up, and I know it's a little dark, but it's about to get very bright, don't worry. Hey, there we go. A nice big lake of lava. Sweet. So I'm just going to work my way up into getting some lava source blocks here, guys. And I'll be back in a few minutes once I've worked up a good amount of them. Alright guys, I'll be honest, trying to make a still lake of lava is not an easy task, so I'm going to change direction a little bit, and instead of making this alternate base down underneath the volcano where the rail tracks lead, which don't worry, I'll still do something with, I'm going to do something a little different down there eventually, I'm going to make a new little base that's up at the top of the volcano. The good thing about this is volcanoes have a lot of basalt on top, and so we're going to be in pretty good shape with regards to the basalt and whatnot. We'll have just pretty much a ton of it to see. So let's go build some of the items we're going to need to prepare for this. So what's Direwolf going to be doing with his IC2 energy that he collected? Well, he's going to be building some cool force field systems. Let's see, the first thing I'm going to need to build is a generator core. In order to build this guy, I'm going to need some electrolyzed water cells, some electronic circuits, an advanced alloy, and an electrolyzer. That'll get me the MFS generator core. Let me build that right now. Alright, so the first thing I'm making here is, as you can see, a frequency transmitter. This is used in a couple things in industrial craft. It just happens to be one of the components of this guy. We have an advanced alloy. I have a couple electronic circuits for me. Now I need to build an electrolyzer, which, as you've seen me build before, is done like so. Just place my machine block, one of these guys here, was it? And something like this, and empty cells, right? Yeah, there we go, electrolyzer. Cool. And then this guy here, right? And then the advanced alloy on top. Did I do that backwards? Oh no, they have to be regular circuits, not advanced circuits. There we go. MFFS generator core. So that's the core that's going to generate some power. In order to get power in there, I need an MFFS generator EU injector, which is going to need 2 more electrolyzer cells and a bat box. Do I have any bat boxes in my system? Let's take a look through here. Bat box, where you at? Probably not. If not, I can craft one real quick. Alright, I'll get the components to craft this guy and be back shortly. Alright, so we've got our bat box, electrolyzed water cells, some copper cables, and some refined iron here. That gets us our MFFS generator EU injector. Boy oh boy, getting pretty cool so far. Next I'm going to need one of these frequency cards. I'm just going to need some paper surrounded by an electronic circuit. Not too hard to get. Let's see, do I have any paper laying about in my miscellaneous junk chest? I have a piece, but let's craft a little bit more. I think that's enough for me, right? Yeah, almost. I need 3 more pieces of sugarcane. There we go. And now I can ask my supplier system for an electronic. Place them in there, surrounded by paper. Getting there, guys. Got a couple more things to build. Next up, let's see. How do I want to build this guy? Alright, I think the next guy I want to build here is going to require a couple more advanced alloys, some diamonds, some frequency transmitters. Alright, let's get our goodies. I'm going to need 4 U, a couple diamonds. I've got the copper cables to make another frequency transmitter. I'm also going to need 2 more of those and one of those thingies. Not a problem. Where's my requesting tool? 2 more of those advanced alloys, please. And one of these things. Perfect. Now, the recipe is going to be like so. I'm going to need to place my diamonds up here. But first I need to do this. Right? And then diamonds on the bottom. I'm sorry, these guys on the bottom. This thing here. And then I just need to grab my advanced alloys. Like so. Alright, MFFS deflector. I think I've got all the components for what I want to do for my new volcano base little area. And I'll be back once it's daytime and not raining anymore. And just to note for you guys, I am making a MFSU. And to go along with that MFSU, I'm going to have to request another advanced circuit here because I'm going to need to build just another little toy. There we go. Now what do I have in my inventory here? Yeah, I got a few of these guys. Perfect. And I believe I want them to be along the top, this stuff to be here, and let's just wait for that advanced circuit. There it is. Perfect. Charging bench Mark III. Alright, I think I've got everything I need to go build this little nifty system. Alright guys, so I'm right out here where I want to be, pretty much ready for my volcano base entrance. And you can see I've got this nice lake right here. And what I'd like to do is build a force field projector that'll create a nice bridge for me to walk across and make my way over to that volcano. And from there I'll be able to walk inside a base. Might go with piston doors, might go with something else, who knows. But for now, I'm just going to get the force field projector going. So the best way to do this, I think, is to take note of my y coordinate, or my, my x coordinates, I want to say, from right here. So we're right now at about x negative 43, right? So the way these force field projector that I've chosen works is it's going to project to the left and right of itself pretty far. So I want to go find the midpoint between this spot where I'm at now and my volcano. So let's go for a run. And I should be able to run pretty well across this water. And remember, it doesn't matter where I'm on the x. So there I'm at x negative 95. So let's round up and go negative 96, just to be accurate. Alright, and it looks like, let's see, looks like negative 69 is where I need to be. So let's find x negative 69 and make a note of it. There it is, right there. So let's place our block like so. That should be cool. Now I'm also currently at Z203, right? So let's zip over here. We'll note that we're a little further than we want to be. I'm thinking I want this to be 3 blocks wide, so let's go with Z198. That sounds good. These squid are going to get in my way and be a nuisance. That's right, guys. Get out of here. Alright, much better. So now I know where I want the center of my force field block to be. But I'm going to try and avoid having this force field block be invisible. So what I'm going to do here is kind of just dig down underneath. Okay, and now we're going to just light up this light. So this torch is right where I want it to be. Negative 69 with Z198. Perfect. So here's where I'm going to place my force fields. Now, first off, I need to place down my MFFS deflector. The deflector is what actually creates the force field. And we can place it like so, and get out my electric wrench, which I've got in here somewhere. There it is. And face it upwards. Okay. Now, the MFFS deflector has how wide the X and the Z should be. So the Z should be, I don't know, 3 wide, 2 wide? Let's make it 1 wide, I think, is what we want. And the X will be pretty much the distance on the x-axis. And if I'm right about this, I want it to be about 25. But we can adjust this pretty much at any point. Oh, looks like 20 is the max. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. We'll figure it out though, don't worry. Alright, so I've got my force field deflector, but I need it to have energy. So let's dig down a little bit here. I want to make sure that I basically have a nice bit of room to work with, because I'm going to need to be building something a little, not terribly complex. It's going to basically be the reverse of the system that I built a while back. So the first thing I need to lay down is an MFSU. That's going to be what's powering my system. I'll place that here. Why not? Perfect. And do I have any fiber optic cable on me? I do. That's a good sign. There we go. And right underneath that, we're going to place our EU injector, and we're also going to need our force field generator core. So if I place my generator core there, it's not going to allow this cable, even if I ran it there, to connect. But if I put my EU injector, the cable connects to the EU injector, which injects energy into the force field generator. Very cool. Okay. Now, in order to generate and turn this guy on, to start drawing power out of this thing, we just need a redstone signal. But there's no power here yet. So let's work on a system to make sure that this stays powered. And if you saw me create my system a few days ago, where I pretty much created an auto refill system to charge some crystals, what you're about to see will probably look pretty familiar. So it should come as no surprise to you that I'm going to need a transposer. And I'm also going to need a filter, built like so. There we go. I'm also going to need some pneumatic tubes. I think I have enough of those guys to hold on for what I need. I even had some transposers in there. Oh well. I'm also going to need a pair of ender chests. So let's grab you two, and let's find me some ender pearls. Where's my ender pearl collection? There we go. Got a couple of those guys. And I'm going to need about 8 of these. Some chests. I have a pair of those. That's cool. Excellent. And let's look up the ender chest recipe, because I kind of forget it off the top of my head. So yeah, I need some obsidian. That's what I was forgetting. Obsidian. Have a bit of those. Alright, let's craft up a pair of ender chests. So, wool, obsidian chests, ender pearls, and blaze rods. pair of ender chests. Perfect. And remember, I went with blue, blue, red, and blue, blue, green, so I'm going to need 4. Don't want that in there. Get out of there. Okay. Ink sacks can go in the miscellaneous junk. I'm going to need 2 of those and 2 of those, and that should be cool. So my ender chests, I'm ready to roll. I've got everything I need with that. And I need another NOT gate, I believe. So did I have one of those on me still? Nope. So I'm going to craft a NOT gate and a timer, and I'll be right back. Alright, back down in my little area down here. Let's build this and get ready. So first I'm going to have to lay down my ender chests. And we want to basically lay it out so that we have our ender chest here, and this will be where the stuff that's already charged is coming from. And if you remember, I made that blue, blue, green. And if I check in here now, that's right, we've got our charged Lapotron crystals. Perfect. Next up, we're going to have to build a system. So let's pull those things out using our transposer. That's what we want to do. So transposer like so, with a nice pneumatic tube right there. And that should wind up going in here as long as we have some piece of junk in our no, not the MFSU. Yeah, that's cool. We want to make sure it goes in the bottom. So let's do this. Yeah, I forgot about my charging bench on this guy, so let's just move this system back a little bit. Like so. So this guy will go here, this guy will go, yeah, something like that. And here's where my charging bench is going to sit. Almost forgot about that. And now my pneumatic tubes go down. I'm just going to move this thing into here. Where's my portal gun? There it is. Much better. Okay. And from there, we're going to want a filter. Like so. And we're going to want the gravel in this thing. This guy, forget that. We don't care about you. And then we want to tell the filter that only Lapotron crystals can go in here. So unfortunately, I'm going to need an empty Lapotron crystal, but that's not a big deal. I'll get one in a moment. And we'll place this down with the pattern blue, blue. Yeah, I messed that up, didn't I? Let me just get my remote requesting stuff, and I'll get myself another one of those. Frequency 0, receiving true. There we go. Just one lappies, please. And then red for the empty guys. So that should be an empty chest at the moment. Perfect. Now the tricky thing, or not so tricky, but the cool thing about charging benches is all you need to do is apply a redstone current to this thing, and it'll suddenly turn from a charging bench to a discharging bench. So now all I need to do is run a glass fiber cable like so, and that's going to pretty much let me hook up what I need to do. So let's give this thing a whirl, shall we? I'm just going to give myself a little more headroom. Not what I wanted precisely, but I'll get up there and fix that real quick. Careful what you ask for, right guys? No. There we go. That should unmake a mess. I'm going to need to do the same here in a moment with this. There, much better. Border goes away, ready to go. So I just want to sneak behind this wall. And grab myself a redstone torch, which I usually have plenty of. Wow, only one left? Alright. So make this guy a discharging bench, and now we're in good shape. Oh. Heh. Wondering why there was water hanging out there. This is from when I got out of my base earlier. My little underwater room. So let's set up our timer system here. Now what we're going to want to do is build a neat little way to figure out when this MFSU is empty. Because right now we need a good timing system to figure out when we can close the, or when to request a new crystal, right? So right now, how am I going to tell when this is empty and we need to run a new crystal through here? I can't do it using an EU detector block here. Why not? Because the EU detector block will turn off once this machine is full. And once this machine is full, even though there's plenty of power in my MFSU, it's going to say, hey, I'm not detecting any EU flowing through here. We better do what we can. So, not a good sign. So how am I going to resolve that? Well, I have an interesting idea, and it's a little bit tricky, actually. I worked on it the other day, and I think it'll work for us. So let's see here. Basically, I want to run some red alloy wire, and I'm going to activate this with a redstone signal, a steady one, real quick. So let's grab a piece of redstone. I should have some in here. Really? Not even any redstone? Alright, I'll get some real quick. I hooked up a retriever system here because I noticed I was starting to need to request items down here. I always forget a couple things, right? So one piece of redstone, that should work. And a stick. Yeah, I have one. Trying to keep my inventory as low as possible. Oh, dude, I did have redstone. I swear, sometimes I just can't see. It's hard to do that and pay attention to what you're doing. So I'm going to run this like so, right up here. This is going to simulate, for now, my timer being stopped. So I'm going to do the same thing I did upstairs. Just set up a timer and set the interval to 10 seconds. And what's going to happen is we pretty much want it when this MFSU is empty, it's going to go ahead and request a Lapitron crystal that's fully charged and bring it into the charging bench. Perfect, right? So this should run every 10 seconds and pull one in. And then we want the opposite to happen over here. So let's place down our NOT gates like so. We'll just run this cabling here. Put ourselves a NOT gate. And we should be able to run this. Alright, let's just break this guy and go like this with the NOT gate. There we go. So now what's going to happen is when we need power, it's going to turn this off, which will turn on our filter. And then when our filter flips off, it should pull the item out of the charging bench, right? I guess we'll see. So how am I going to detect that there's energy within my MFSU? I'm building an MV transformer. Why? Good question. If you ask me, why the heck did you just build that, Direwolf? It's a very good question, as a matter of fact. So let's see. How exactly do I want this guy to run? I want to make sure there's room. And hey, look, there's a neat little cave system down there. Cool. Let's run our cabling like so. And I'm going to downscale this thing. So I'm just going to put this guy like that. Get my wrench and rotate it. Okay. Then I'm going to put this up here. Not good exactly. Maybe I don't need this. Yeah, let's do this. I should be able to just connect this guy exactly perfect. So, MV transformer. To there. Nope. Let's see, hang on a sec. Alright guys, so I've managed to get my MV transformer here with the 3 dots facing up onto the MFSU. And what should happen now, if I just knock this fiber optic cable off and just run it like so, and let's see. Now remember, if we place this EU detector block right next to this guy, it's going to be a little bit of an issue. So I'm just going to put him right here, I think. So I built an EU detector block right there like that. Now that's going to detect if EUs are flowing through the cabling. Now, see, I don't like that still. I might need to do it like this. And if that's the case, I might need to just move this guy right here. So let's get our red alloy wire, get transformer down like so. And there. And, oh, that needs to be the energy output phase. That's probably why it wasn't working. So this needs to be coming in like this. Hang on a sec, guys. I'm getting there. I forgot. Output face. Noob mistake. So I need to connect it like so. See? Now it's on. As long as there's energy in there, it's going to continuously loop through. And we're not losing energy because we're just looping through. And if we try to charge this rechargeable battery back up, Now that the energy is empty, the light went off. When there's energy inside, the light's on. So now we have a way to detect when the MFSU is empty. So that's what we want to do. So what we want to do basically here is, and I'm thinking this should all work. So let's get ready for it. I might need one of those repeaters, and I thought I had one in here. I do. Perfect. And let's see, I'm probably going to need a wrench. Where's the wrench at? I'm sorry, screwdriver. There we go. Is that going to do what I want? Or that? I think it's this. So let's see real quick. Right? Now let's put some energy in there and make sure that it's emitting when it should. There we go. Energy emitting. Energy not emitting. So let's get a little bit of energy in there just to keep the lights on. Perfect. Run this guy down here and take this off. So now this should work, right? I hope so. Let's see. Here goes nothing, the official test. Drain the energy out, and it should turn that off. And now the timer's going to run. And the timer's going to give it a 10-second count. And as soon as the timer ticks, it should pull a Labotron crystal out. The charging bench is then going to go ahead and start charging up the MFSU. Because it's receiving a redstone signal, it's going to drain a Labotron crystal out of the charging bench. Cool. And it looks like it's doing what it's supposed to do. And I guess I don't need to have a slot here. Yeah, that's alright. That thing being there is good. So now the filter should pull out again. Yeah, that's going to be an issue, isn't it? So we're going to need to wait for the filter to realize that it's ready. Well, that's okay. What's going to happen is, when this thing ticked, it pulled the gravel out of here, right? So currently there's probably gravel sitting back in my main base. Let's go check on that. Probably sitting in the charging bench down here, as predicted. So what's going to happen is, okay, so this is just going to have a little Labotron crystal hanging out. That's alright, I've got a lot of them, and we're doing alright on resources. I can afford to not have one. The Labotron crystal will now stay inside this charging bench, which is almost done filling up the MFSU, until the MFSU runs out of power. At that point, it's going to pulse this thing, and pull out this Labotron crystal, which will get recharged, and a new one will come in and start charging. So I think that works pretty well. Yeah, I think that works perfectly, actually. So now, the next and final step here is to apply a redstone signal to this big guy. Now, this guy needs to be receiving redstone in order for it to start filling up its force power storage. Like that. And yay, it's on. So it's draining EUs out of the MFSU. And this thing's empty. Now, if my math is correct, the MFFS generator, and boy is that hard to say, should be able to store 10 million force power storage, right? So force power is the power needed to create a force field. And I believe it's a 10-to-1 equation. So it can store 10 million of these, and that'll cost 1 million EU. So you can see we've already taken 150,000 EU, and we've got, you know, coming up now on 2 million, right? So 2 million force power at the cost of 200,000 EU. So what should happen is once this MFFS generator is completely full, it'll have 1 million EU worth of storage, or 10 million force power. And that should trigger our system to run again, because this MFSU will have been emptied out by this guy. So let's give that a few minutes and I'll be right back. Alright, let's see. This thing's getting close to filling up. Running low on power here. Maybe another moment or two. Alright, awfully close now. So this thing is pretty much almost empty, and as soon as it does empty, it should pulse this filter. And let's see what happens. There we go. And the empty crystal was inside the ender chest, and a new crystal came in right here, or it will in about 10 seconds once that timer ticks. So let's see what happens. Tick, send me a Labotron crystal. Nice. And the Labotron crystal is now refilling the MFSU. And since this thing's full, it's not going to drain the energy out of this MFSU until we turn on the force field generator. Speaking of that force field generator, we got to grab our frequency card here and place it inside the frequency card slot. You notice it's currently a blank card, and if I click the coding button, boom, it's going to turn it into a coded card. Perfect. Now we can run over here to that little machine that we built earlier and turn this guy on. So how do we do that? Not too hard, actually. We just open up the interface. And remember, the force power available here is empty. Well, if I match the frequency card with the generator that I have over there, the core generator, it's going to suddenly be like, hey, that's cool, link to generator is true, we got a lot of force power in there, and all we got to do now is connect up some EU. So let's do this. I'm sorry, a redstone signal. So let's keep our lights on here. I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. Grab myself a stick for the moment. And this is not the final conclusion of how I'm going to build this system, but I'm just turning it on to see how well it works and what it looks like. So, Shazam. No, not what I wanted to do. I forgot one little change. Ha ha ha. Let's get that guy off. Alright, much better. And let's cover this floorboarding back up. And hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm doing here in just a moment. Let's get out of the water. Much better. So I do need to get that distance changed. I want it to be, let's say, four blocks above where it currently is. What happened was I put a force field right on top of myself. Not terribly intelligent, but hey, I never said I was smart. Let's see if we can work our way around to a, there we go, that'll work. Let's just get a lever. Lever will do perfectly for this situation. Lever, right like so. Boom. And this thing should be on, and now we should be draining some EU out of our MFSU, because that's maintaining a force field, which is not an easy task. Hey, pretty darn close. We've got it pretty much right like so. That's neat. I like that. Knocked off a bunch of junk here. Now when I turn this force field off, is all the water here going to kind of recombine to be cool? That's what my curious question is. So the force field is up now, and it's pretty much created a nice little bridge for me. And if I flip the lever off, I want to make sure that the water kind of doesn't look awful. And unfortunately, it does look awful. So I need the force field to be one block higher, and I need to fix all this water. So I'll do that in a moment. But let's make the force field block one smidge higher. There we go, distance of 5, and now turn it on. You know, like, it's cool to me that the force field, and you can see it's kind of hard to see maybe, especially because it's on top of water, but that's what the force field blocks look like. And I kind of think it should be right above the water like this, because right now the way it is it messes up the water underneath, and I'm going to fix that using my Evertide amulet off camera, just so it's all steady, like non-flowing blocks, but for now, we're good. So I think my force field bridge is in pretty good shape. I'm going to wind up connecting this with wireless redstone, and I'm going to have a control system on either side of the bridge so that I can turn it on and off, probably with an XOR gate or something neat like that. But for now, I think it's a good wrapping up point. I'm sorry to say, guys, I've been running this video for a bit now, and it's time for me to wrap up. So, this is Direwolf20 signing off on episode 43 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Next episode, I'll come back here, make some more changes. This system looks like it's pretty much done, but I need to fix that force field bridge, get the water underneath it cleaned up, and who knows, a couple other cool things need to happen. So, hope you enjoyed this episode. Take it easy.